Andy. And the reason he's Andy is because he's handmade. And he's the perfect best friend that you could possibly ever hope to have. Let me give you an example. Suppose you have a box of chocolates like this. You know, there's always a chocolate in a box of chocolates that you don't like, isn't there? Yeah? Yeah. Right. So if you offer them to Andy, then he'll always take the one that you don't want, and then you'll be left with a box of chocolates that you do like. It's brilliant, isn't it? Yes! Yes! Now, suppose you're a brilliant artist like me, and you had just done a fantastic brand new masterpiece, which should really hang in the National Gallery, shouldn't it?
No!
Oh, yes, it should. Well, all your best friends will think it's utterly brilliant, so let me just show it to Andy Autumn out here and see what reaction I get from him then. Here you go, what do you think of that? See? He likes it, isn't it fantastic? Yes! Thank you. Now, the other thing is, if you want to play a game with Andy Autumn out, he'll always play for as long as you want to play it. For instance, a game of chess. He'll play for as long as you like, and then he'll do a stupid move like that, and it will be checkmate and I'll have won. Fantastic! Yes! Thank you. Now, the other great thing about Andy Autumn is that he will make brand new best friends for you. Do you want to see it done?
Yes!
Are you sure?
Yes!
Right, well, you see these two blue buttons here? These are top secret blue buttons. And if you push these, this fantastic gas comes out. And it goes all over the place. And anybody who smells it turns then into your best friend. It's completely and utterly brilliant. Do you want to see it done?
Yes!
1, 2, 3. Wow! It's brilliant! It's fantastic!
Better luck next time, Timmy. And while he's fixing Andy, a question. When's it an obvious time when people need others?
Well, here's one right now. For example, he is obviously needed by him, and he is obviously needed by him. Well, I hope they're all good friends.
One thing about friends is that you should be able to trust them. For example, I trust the instructors to make sure that I'm safe.
Monday, just leave it. What we do now, yeah? Okay. Do you have like thunder?
Question. Do you know what my most favourite food in the world is? Jelly. Lots and lots of jelly. I wonder what's on the menu. I bet it's not jelly. Wouldn't it be wonderful if it was jelly?
Excuse me, madam. The menu.
It's jelly! Thank you! I didn't expect jelly on the menu. There's a lot of it here, though. Never mind, I can eat as much jelly as they give me. But it is just a little too much. I wish I had some friends to help me eat it. I wonder... Wow, amazing! I've got some friends. And there's more jelly. There's only one thing, though. Do you all like jelly?
Yes!
Great, because we can eat as much of this jelly as we like. All we've got to do is to wear these weird flints so we can demonstrate a really old story. I haven't got a splint. Can I have one?
Sure.
Oh, thank you. What exactly is this splint made of?
Oh, just some cardboard and wrapped around with bandage.
Yeah, it doesn't feel very comfortable. I mean, how am I supposed to eat this jelly? Where's the boss?
I'm here.
Oh, Mrs. Benson, you're the boss. How are we supposed to eat this jelly with these splints on?
Well, that's for you to work out. You can eat as much jelly as you like, but don't make a mess on my table.
Well, let's get ready to eat then. Will you start us off, Mrs. Benson?
When I blow my whistle, you can start.
The problem is, because you're wearing a cardboard splint, you can't bend your elbow. And because you can't bend your elbow, your spoon won't reach your mouth. And because the spoon won't reach your mouth, the jelly goes everywhere, except where you want it to. Hang on, this isn't working. Stop, everyone! This isn't fair. I haven't eaten any jelly yet. What's the use of having jelly when you can't eat it? Actually, in the old story, the answer was really simple. It's really obvious. Mrs. Benson, if you'd like to blow the whistle again, we'll show you how it's really done. Right. simple when you know what the end of the story is. But Ashley here seems to have a problem. Yes, I don't like jelly.
Brilliant. Messy jelly on the telly, I love it. Now, the question there was, how did everybody get food? Well, the answer only came about when people thought differently about each other. So the question there is, the EQDA is, how do you think about each other differently? Well, watch this.
Let's quit now. We can finish up next week. Shabbat Shalom. See you next week. Have a nice weekend. Shabbat Shalom. See you next week. Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.
Something made those people have different faces. So what was it?
Shabbat Shalom.
I've come to this church today to meet the rector, who I believe is a very good cartoonist. And if I'm not mistaken, then this is one of his posters. Oh, hello.
I heard voices. I wonder what was going on.
Reverend Pastor Davis?
That's right.
Hello, nice
That's
to
right.
meet you.
Thank you.
Right, so, am I right? Is this one of your posters?
Yes, this is one of the ones I've had a go at doing, and I hope people pay some attention to it, certainly.
Is it possible for me to see some more of your work?
Yeah, my studio's just over the other side of that fence there. I'll take you over there. We can have a look now.
Right. I've seen similar posters outside other churches. Do you think people actually take any notice of them? Do they work?
I hope so. I feel it's part of my job to try and encourage people to just love one another in this community and everything, and just get on with each other better. Just a minute, excuse me.
Hey, you two, pack it in. Pack it in. What is going on here? Wait a minute. Who called who what? Who? Quiet. Am I getting this right? He called you ugly and you called him ugly. Just a minute. Look, has anyone ever told you two you're actually identical twins? So if he's calling you ugly and you're calling him ugly, just think about it. Now, come on, shake hands. Make up. All right.
Sorry about that.
Very nice. So this is where you draw your cartoons then?
That's right. It's my study, and it also doubles as a studio, really. I've got a drawing board here, and this is where I do my cartooning.
Right, so what we just saw with the kids, I suppose that was great inspiration for your cartoons.
Well, you do get lots of ideas from life, really, in this community. Quite often funny things happen. And also, being a clergyman, I quite often look at the Bible, and I think certainly some of the stories that Jesus told, they're almost cartoons anyway. For instance, he told a story once about this guy who got a tiny little speck in his eye, and he's pretty upset about it, and he's, feeling pretty miserable with this tiny little dot in his eye. This other guy comes along and he says, you know, I can take that out of your eye, certainly. The trouble with him, he's got this huge, great plank in his own eye. And, you know, there's this guy with a huge plank sticking out of his eyeball saying, I'll take this little speck out of your eye. And for me, that's a cartoon anyway, so there's nothing new about using cartoons to get this message across.
So what are you working on at the moment?
At the moment, I'm partway through a children's book where the situation I've got now is there's this group of people who are really picking on this fellow. He's very, very unpopular. He's always scowling at everybody. Nobody likes him. And these people are really kind of ganging up on him. And they're just trying to pick on one another, not relating at all.
So how could that story end? Here's a story which talks about the question, who would you help in a time of need? Based on an old Greek tale, in a time of intense battle.
Whack, crunch, beat, back, zip, ah! Fighting had been very fierce for several weeks, and from early morning the two sides had been giving each other particularly serious hammering. They glared at each other with menacing eyes and bared teeth. The warriors engaged in the most desperate struggle of their lives, a fight to the finish. Winning was everything. The sun beat down. Sweat poured off the soldiers' brows. They were exhausted. By evening, the battlefield was strewn with the defeated and the dying. And as dusk fell, a lone figure was silhouetted against the sky, treading carefully, weaving in and out of the piles of bodies. On a thick strap around Ganaia's neck was slung a huge leather bottle, and as he passed each soldier, he called out, "Water! Water! Who needs water?" "Oi! Look! Stop it! That's their blokes you're helping, not just our lot, you idiot!" "Look here," said one of the bigger men. "If you don't stop helping the other lot, we're going to have to help stop you, if you get my meaning." I reckon Guru Gobind Singh should work it all out. He's in charge around here, and they all agreed. So they told the Guru, he's either a traitor who's gone completely mad. He's dishing out water not just to the Sikhs, but to them as well. What are you going to do about him? I think I'll just have a little chat with him. He wasn't called the true king for nothing. "Now, Ganaia, there's a rumour going round that you've been helping our enemies." "It's not true," said Ganaia. "Look at me," said the Guru. "Are you telling me you've not been helping the enemy?" "I don't have any enemies," said Ganaia. "I just see looks of pain. I hear cries of agony. And I feel they're just people, children of the same God who made me. They need water too." "Oh, Baiji," said Guru Gobind Singh, hugging Ganaia tightly, his eyes filling with tears. "What a super person you are, a truly terrific Sikh. What you've done is really marvellous, because you've shown that feeling is maybe more important than actually winning the war. When you go back, take this from me." And he handed Ganaia ointment and bandages, and he said, "I want to call you Bai, because you're a real brother." Bai Ganaia thanked the Guru, and Guru Gobind Singh summoned the rest of his men, and he told them, "When an army is attacking us and our religion, they're the enemy. But once they lie wounded, they're just humans. I would even say our friends." His eyes scanned the plain, and suddenly he saw him. There was Bai Ganaia, kneeling down to a man from the other side to dress his wounds.
People belonging to the Hindu faith are aware of their responsibilities to help others. So what happened to Karan when this was all put into action?
My name is Karen Sivan. My family and I are Hindus. Hinduism started in India thousands of years ago. It's the world's oldest living religion. Many beautiful ceremonies are held at our temple. Special festivals, musical performances, marriages and births, but mainly we visit the temple to pray. It's a time for families to meet together. I pray at the shrine of Lord Murugan, one of our Hindu gods, for help, wealth and education. We present gifts of sweets, fruit and flowers to our God. The priest prays for everyone in the temple. He offers me sweet prasad and holy ash, which remind us of love and goodness of the gods who care for us and how we should share God's gifts. Sometimes I take prasad and holy ash to someone who can't come to the temple because they live too far away or because they're ill.
Hello, Vanakamma.
Hello, Uncle. I brought some prasad from the temple for you for
Yes,
speedy
very
recovery.
nice of you. Sit down.
How are you, Uncle?
I am all right, ma.
I enjoy doing this because it makes us all feel closer to each other.
We all live on this planet Earth. Do you remember Comic Relief? It was a good laugh, and it helped us remember that we're all responsible for each other. In fact, we're all neighbours.
The war here in Mozambique isn't a straightforward or a simple one, they seldom are. But there are thousands upon thousands of people here having the most dreadful time, and they've no idea why. They are no wiser about it than we are. These are the people that Comic Relief wants to help. We want you to help us to help them. One child dies every 6 minutes because of the war and its problems. There are thousands of young mine victims, hundreds of thousands of traumatized children.
The creed and the colour and the name won't matter.
How long do you think we survive in an area like this? I mean, look at it, it's just dust, sand and dead trees. If you or I were plonked out here, we'd die.
The creed and the colour and the name won't matter.
Just 5 people buy a dose of oral rehydration salt, sugar, salt and water, which can save the life of a child who's dying from diarrhea. Just 5p. Imagine what you could do with £5 or £500.
Please don't sit there and think this has nothing to do with you, because it has. It has everything to do with you. It isn't a very wonderful world out here, but we can help to make it a much better place.
The creed and the colour and the name won't matter. The creed and the colour and the name won't matter.
Thanks to Comic Relief for reminding us about our neighbours. Now, Timmy, some of the questions today were, how can you love your neighbours more?
How can you fix a robot?
And what is facade?
How can you look at people differently?
How can you trust people?
How can 3 people stand on each other's shoulders?
How can we all get enough to eat? That was just some of the questions in today's programme.